Welcome back to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. I actually do these live calls on Instagram. I would love for you to come and hang out with me at them. So if you don't already follow me at Dawn Bradley, DAWNBRADLEY, should have made a song about that. Go follow me there because then you can take part in these live calls and can actually chat with me. But if you can't make them, no sweat. Now they're going to be here. So welcome to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. Buckle up, friend, and let's dive in. I overthink, I overshare, and I overanalyze. So come explore with me as I chat about business, life, and relationships, all through the lens of an anxious creative.
Good morning and welcome to Business Breakfast in Bedhead. I'm so excited to be busting myths about building your clientele with you this morning. So as you are hopping on, I just want to remind you that this is a safe space and a judgment-free zone where we can show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable together, learning and growing at the different places that we are, because we're all in different places in our journey. We're all at different places in our careers and in our paths. And so having compassion and kindness and empathy for one another, knowing that what you're going through, someone else might be going through, or what you don't struggle with, someone else might be struggling with. So when we show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable, knowing we're in a safe space and a judgment-free zone, we can learn and grow better. And especially when it comes to building a clientele, so many of you are struggling with the shame and embarrassment of being back here in your career. And that's just not the case. Hi, Diane. Good morning. And yesterday we had our kickoff call for my client magnet container. It's not too late to get into it. You can still join the client magnet container. These people are going places. They're going to be fully booked in no time, the way that they were taking action yesterday. But I want to bust a comment. Oh, I just looked at the spelling error and bust in with a T instead of a G. And so if you're excited to learn this morning the myths and how to get past them when building your clientele, put a 1 in the chat because I'm really excited to share with you this morning this myth about building your clientele that just isn't true and people are continuing to do. And I want to get the word out there that it's just not working. And so let's bust the myths together and let's get you fully booked in under 12 weeks. That's what happened to me. I moved to a city where I knew no one. I was 31 years old. I walked away from my 14 years of my career, my business that I had built. I sold my house. I packed up my pup, I headed west, and I moved to a city where I knew no one. And within 12 weeks, I didn't even know, when I got to Calgary, I had no plan. I had no plan, zero plan. I had a few dollars in savings, and I went and looked at salons to work at, and I knew I needed to work for myself. I eventually, after 2 weeks, asked my landlord, hey, can I put a sink in the basement? I didn't love the place I was living in. I wasn't proud of it. I was like, people are going to want to come to my house. I decided to charge the same prices as I would if I was in a downtown salon because I knew my skill and talent were good. And it wasn't about the space. And I had people coming from all over the city, all over the province, I'm in Canada, coming to the basement of my rental. And within 12 weeks was fully booked. That first year I made over 6 figures. And so if you want to do the same, put a 2 in the chat. And I'm going to bust the myths about building your clientele because it's just not the way it is anymore. So first things first, the myth, talk that talk. Thank you. The first one is, it's just not true that you have to play to the algorithm. I call bullshit. You don't have to play. How is the algorithm made? I was sharing this with my students, and my hair is so sweet right now. I was sharing this. Oh, I love this. Hi, Stacy. So many twos. So the myth that you need to play to the algorithm. How is the algorithm made? The algorithm is made by watching people's behaviors. And so in order to become a client magnet, to create magnetism of people towards your offer, which I know so many people, like, I don't think you have to use social media, but that's the name of the game. How many of you guys are like relying on, put yes in the chat if you're relying on social media to build your clientele? It's a great tool. But what I see is people, the myth is you need to know how to use social media. I don't really know how to use social media, and I don't teach social media because playing to the algorithm is just, the algorithm is made from watching people's behaviors. So, are you guys ready for the most mind-blowing thing? If you learn how to market your business well, if you learn how to be a good marketer with integrity, I know you're a person of integrity. Intention and integrity is really important to you. Honesty, transparency, integrity are my core values. And so when you learned how to use marketing, not the old school bro-y, like, crazy scarcity, like false advertising marketing, but when you understand how to create magnetism towards your services, you create the algorithm. So it's not about playing to the algorithm, which is how people's behaviors work. It's when you know how to market yourself well on social media, You create you create the algorithm, because the algorithm is built from people's behaviors. And when you're able to draw people in, knowing that people are going to come to your page, they're going to type your name in, they're going to look to see if you're going live every morning, because you go live every morning. This is mine, right? I go live weekday mornings. Or they know that your content is jam-packed full with stuff that helps them with the problem that they're currently having. For example, a lot of you guys are coming to my page going like, what's her post about today? Because I know she's talking about building a clientele and I'm struggling and I need to book. So you're coming and checking my feed. And that's going to teach the algorithm, hey, they're coming and looking up Dawn and looking at her feed. I'm going to start putting Dawn in her feed more. When you're able to market yourself well, you don't have to play to the algorithm, because you create the algorithm. Give me a hell's yes if you're into that. It's a lot simpler to market yourself well than to try to constantly be figuring out how to play to the algorithm. Hey, Ash. And so when you realize that creating magnetism towards your service, creating a magnetism when you know who you're speaking to, hey, Britt, when you know how to create that magnetism and attract people to you, you don't have to be going out and trying to ask people to be your client. They are drawn to you. My client magnet container, I haven't hard sold to anyone because I don't believe in hard selling. When you're able to communicate well, and that's with intention, and you're able to implement the practices of creating that magnetism towards your offer, people come to you, they seek you out, and they book in with you. Diane is a perfect example. Diane, are you still on this live? I was chatting all about the client magnet last week, and then we were in the DMs, and I think I said like, hey, are you interested in it? I don't even know if I brought it up. I can't remember. And she's like, yeah, but my budget for education this year is done. And I was like, cool, totally get that. And she's like, and I have so much, yeah, I hope this is okay to share. And you said, my budget is done, and I have so many other things, other products that I've bought, programs that I need to go through. And I was like, totally get it. We need, like, my core of my education is implementation. I help people implement what they know. I don't teach you necessarily more. I might give you a shift in perspective and make your mind blow. Like yesterday on our call, people were like, whoa, calling me out, Dawn. But the core of what I teach is how to implement what you know. And so Diane was like, my budget's done for the year for education. I was like, cool, totally respect that. Next day, she reached out, and I forget what you said, but you decided to join the client magnet. And you were like, I don't think you said that. You're like, whatever about the boundaries. Like, I know that you're going to help me actually take action. And so I didn't try to convince her to join the client magnet. I didn't try to convince her to book into the client magnet at all. This is what you can do with your clients. You don't need to try to convince somebody that you're worthy. It's like trying to get someone to date you that's not really into you, right? You can't convince somebody to want something they don't want. Oh yeah, and then because I had a special offer as well. Yes, okay, yeah. And because Diane is an alumni of my RYB program, she got a special rate, which was a huge perk. Yeah. Just like the people who got the early bird, right? It's still 100% worth joining it. The amount, like, think of this. If you can get 10 new clients, ask yourself this. Catfish, I'm not really sure what you mean. If you can get 10 new clients and then learn the skill of getting new clients on repeat, how much would 10 new clients revenue bring into your business? This is how you can know if you can get a return on your investment, right? If you believe that the client magnet's going to get you clients, and will it get you the revenue above and beyond what you'd pay to be in it, then it makes sense. But you still have to implement. So anyway, that being said, you got to play. I kind of got off on a tangent there, but you don't have to play to the algorithm. Stop thinking like I need to know how to write captions, and I need to know how to do reels, and I need to know how to do this. I don't play to the algorithm at all. I create my own algorithm. People look to my page. They go, I know she goes live in the morning on weekday mornings. Going to check in and see what it's at. I know that she posts good educational content or sometimes entertaining content that has a really good message. I'm going to keep checking it out. And people come to my page, and it creates the algorithm, because algorithm is based off of people's behaviors. Stop trying to add what's the latest hack and tip. That is a myth on how to build your clientele. When you know how to market yourself well, which is creating magnetism to your services, then... oh, I don't know if you guys can just hear my dog just groaned. He's so cute. Then people are drawn to what you have to offer. Any questions right now? Let me show you guys Lewis. Hi, Louie. Louie. Now he's not going to show you. So that is myth number 1. Myth number 2 is that there's too much competition. Bullshit. There's always been a lot of competition. And so you need to ask yourself, how do I differ from everybody else? And I see people saying like, well, I give great service. There's a lot of talented and skilled people out there. So unfortunately, your talent and skill in taking more technique classes, and I know it's so much easier to spend money on a technique class. It is. It's so much easier to spend money on learning new techniques, thinking that's going to set you apart. But the reality is, how skilled and talented you are have nothing to do with how booked up you are. How skilled and talented you are have nothing to do with people wanting to book in with you. You need to figure out what is unique about you and how you do your services that will draw people in. And this is the stuff that we went over a little bit in the client magnet yesterday at the kickoff call, but we're going deeper in today's call. What is it and how is it that you can, so much depth on this live. You're welcome. You're welcome, Vinny. I didn't get the catfish, but I know you and Diane got it. Did I say something about being catfished? Or did I catfish somebody? I don't think I did. Maybe because of my hair. I don't know. But no, that was an ADHD side tangent. I don't even know what I was saying before that. What was I saying? Oh, you need to know, hi Victoria, you need to know how to market yourself and create magnetism to what you offer without having to try, like, think of this. If you met someone and you're like, they're kind of cool and they're good looking and you want to date them. And then all of a sudden it's like super pick me energy and they're like really like almost like overly eager and always there. It's kind of a turn off, right? Where that's what people are doing with their marketing for their services. They're being, the RYB part reeled me in. Is that the catfish part? Okay. I maybe don't really fully understand what catfishing is. I'm like so out of the loop. Dating someone that you don't want to. I thought catfish was pretending to be someone you're not. Isn't that it? Anyway, regardless, thank you for filling me in. Okay, so if someone was too eager, it'd kind of be a turnoff, right? And that's what a lot of service providers are doing. They're coming in with the really eager, like, here, like, well, what about, like, do you want to come see me? Come see me. Here's 20% off. Like, what can I do? What can I do? And they're trying to do more to try to convince people to book in. When really, I was sharing this last week, and I don't talk a lot about the masculine, feminine energy, but you guys know what I mean when I say that. When you go into the masculine energy, which is like old school marketing, where it's like aggressive, like in your face, make a decision now. You can get people to book in with you once and they'll be like, I did that because I felt like I had to. I felt like there was like a knife up against my neck or like that, like I felt pressured. And so I did it. And you can get people to book or buy once out of obligation, but then they'll walk away going, that felt gross. I didn't want to do that, but I did it because I felt pushed into it and I never want to go back. And then they'll avoid you. This is what happens with network marketing people a lot. Right? How many of you guys have fallen victim to that, where you have a friend that started selling a network marketing thing and the product's good, but they're so aggressive. It's a very masculine energy. And I'm not saying men, I'm just saying masculine, not men. Masculine energy of like coming at someone, being in their face, constantly like, do it, it's going away, like this aggressive, that you kind of like, just to get people to go away, you buy something or you do something, like you go to the Tupperware party or you go to the candle party or whatever it is, just to get them over with. And you can get people to buy once, but you won't create longevity or sustainability. But when you create magnetism, you're in your feminine energy of receiving. And so you're not pushing things down people's throats, trying to get them to buy or trying to make them feel obligated. Instead, you're creating an alluring factor and drawing people to what you have to offer. And so that's what creating client magnetism is all about. Put a 1 in the chat if you connect with this. If you would rather learn how to market your business with magnetism, meaning you draw in, you attract the right people, but remember a magnet has 2 sides and you repel the wrong people. And that's a really hard part, is getting comfortable with the fact that you're going to experience rejection. You're going to repel people. You're going to experience rejection. And I know rejection's a really big piece for you. And you want to be for everybody. You want everyone to like you. That is a deep core wound of mine and insecurity. I just want people to like me. And the thought of someone not liking me or teasing me or poking fun at me or talking behind my back is really hard. To the point where I have mantras that I write out every day. And one of them is, it is safe to be seen and criticized. Because you need to ask yourself, and this is homework that I gave my students in the client magnet yesterday that I want to give you guys free of charge right now, is ask yourself, what is that naggy voice that's on repeat telling you? And if you feel comfortable, because I want to remind you guys, this is a safe space and a judgment-free zone this morning. If you feel comfortable putting what that negative thing is, like, I'm not worth it, I could never, no one's going to book in with you, whatever that negative phrase is, and we'll workshop it into a positive mantra for you to repeat. Because I take the ugly narratives in my head, I take them and I reverse them, and then those become my mantras until I rewire the neural pathways in my brain to believe that I am worthy and capable and willing to do what it takes to get where I'm going. Hi, Deborah. So if anyone's willing, and I'll start to put that whatever that is on repeat. So mine is like, I'm so scared that people aren't going to like me and people are going to make fun of me or criticize me. 2 years ago, I had a reel go viral, and there was a girl that completely misunderstood it. It was kind of clickbaity, and I was towing the line. I knew what I was doing. But this girl in the comments attacked my character. Honesty, integrity, and transparency are really important to me. And I'll be the first to admit if I don't feel like I align with that. And I'm glad, I like having people challenge me. A couple of weeks ago on my live, someone, I was like feeling insecure about the way something looked. And like one of the points I was making was be compassionate with yourself. And she was like, you got to be compassionate with yourself. And I was like, I love it when people call me out on my own shit. I love it. Diane, that's a good one. So mine is like, so this girl like called me, like made a comment on this post of mine. And then I went into hypervigilance because I was feeling attacked and I was feeling insecure. And I went on her page and she did a 3-minute story. She didn't tag me, but she named me and went off for 3 minutes about how horrible a person I was, completely misunderstanding the point of a reel that I made. And it hurt. And I went into wanting to try to convince her to see the perspective of, I think you misunderstood, which is pointless. You can't change somebody's mind when they make something up about you. But seeing someone's 3-minute story about you, talking shit about you, dug deep. It really, really hurt. And then I retracted and played small. And so learning to say it is safe to be seen and criticized, not going to be for everyone, not everyone's going to like me. Learning to understand that and believe that at my core, when I experience that rejection or criticism, I can like let it slide off me. So Diane, no matter what I do or have tried, it doesn't seem to work. So how can we switch this into a positive mantra? Everything I do is leading me to a bigger place, and every failure I have is going to lead to a success. I might workshop that more on our call later, but that's the one off the top of my head. Everything I do, failure or success, is leading, the pathway to success is paved with failure. All my efforts, all my attempts are leading me to a better place. And then that way knowing, is that helpful? I hope that helps. I like that one. Okay, make the world pretty. Whatever I do, it's never good enough, and someone can do it better. Everything I do with my best effort, to the best of my ability, and I'm always learning and growing. One more time. Oh, Victoria, you're going to have to watch this because I can't repeat the things I say. They're kind of like channeled. Hi, Carlene. Whatever I do, it's never good enough, and someone can do it better. I am okay with where I'm at and doing my best to my ability currently, always looking to improve and not comparing myself to others. I like that one. Make the world pretty. And so asking yourself, what is that negative talk, negative narrative that is in my head, and switching it. And I do here. Do you guys want to hear some of mine? I write down the same ones every single morning. So I have this journal. It says, you are amazing. I go to, I don't know what it's called in the States, but like Home Outfitters, not Home Outfitters. It's like the place that all the stuff goes to when it doesn't sell. So it's like a little bit cheaper. You know what I'm talking about? And they have like really cheap journals. But let's see. So I say, I'm a big deal and I can do hard things. Money comes easy to me. The magic is showing up when I don't feel like it. I am capable and willing to do bigger things. I get uncomfortable for the sake of growth. TJ Maxx. There we go. Yeah, I like a TJ Maxx. Perfect. Thank you, Deborah. Negativity can't touch me. It is safe to be seen and criticized. It is within my integrity to help, serve, and earn. I am protected and safe at all times and all ways. I leave a positive impact and legacy on the world. I have all I've ever dreamed of in all areas of my life. I am focused and disciplined in all areas of my life. I can be like, oh, you're such a scatterbrain, Donna. You lack discipline. I move on quickly from busy, distracting, unproductive work. Oh, and when I'm scrolling in between tasks, I'm like, that like hits me. Writing these out in the morning, and then I write down goals too. Writing these out in the morning sets my day up for success. And then I like have them in my brain. And then when I am getting distracted or when I'm not focused, I'm like, no, I'm a focused person. Put that away. Diane says, I'm not lazy. I'm getting the rest I need so I can be a superstar when I need to. Hells yes. Or sorry, did I say Carlene or Diane? I was like, I can't remember what I said there. So I want you guys to know those myths. One, you don't have to play to the algorithm. You create the algorithm. When you know how to create magnetism towards your services and your offerings, and when you know how to market your business well, you don't have to play to the algorithm because the algorithm is born of people's behaviors. And when you market yourself well, people change their behavior to see what you have to say. This is stuff we're going deeper inside the client magnet. You can still get in. RYB alumni, special rate for you if you want to get in. And if you're not an RYB alumni, it's still a really reasonable price for what you're going to get out of it. Here's the thing. Taking the classes, attending isn't going to get the results. You have to implement what you know. You have to stop being addicted to learning and allergic to implementation. My magic is helping people learn how to implement well with simplicity, ease. I don't know. I was trying to think of a third word, but really with simplicity and ease. Getting out of the overcomplicatedness. So Google sends me all the new clients, which I can't get in anyway. I love that. Yeah, Carlene, you have like a wicked business model. And I love Carlene, you've built what you've wanted to create. And I love that you are proof that just because no one else has done it doesn't mean you can't. And that's one thing I always tell people, just if you have an idea and you're like, but nobody else does it this way. Perfect. Carlene has such a kick-ass business model that works for exactly the lifestyle that you've wanted to create, which I love. Yeah. So if you guys you want to lose the new client anxiety of like, what kind of person is this going to be? You want to attract the right people and repel the wrong people, meaning you want to, be a magnet. Magnets attract and repel. You want to be less, you don't want to have to use aggressive techniques because those feel cringy, icky, and pick me energy. You want to draw people in. Check out the client magnet. It's in my highlights. It's in the link in my bio. I announced to them yesterday that we're going to be spending a whole month together working on this. My goal for my students is that they take and implement what they learn, getting fully booked within under 12 weeks and being able to change the trajectory of their year and start the fall off on a good foot. So that is my goal for my students in the client magnet. If you're interested or have any questions, shoot me a DM. But as always, I will be coming live again tomorrow morning to share with you guys more tips and tricks on how to build your clientele, build your revenue, and build your business so that you can change your life, business, and bank account in that order. I love you guys. Until then, stay weird. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and for tuning into Business Breakfast and Bedhead. Like I said, I would love for you to join me live on these over on Instagram. So once again, just look up Dawn Bradley and let's connect. Shoot me a DM, send me a screenshot, tag me in your stories of listening to this or what you took away from this. Those comments, that feedback really makes my day and helps me know that these things are landing and that you want to hear more. I do these lives and I do this podcast for you to help you, and your feedback means the world to me. And if you enjoyed this episode, help me spread the love. Share it with a friend, a coworker, family member, or leave a review. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Until then, friend, stay weird.